So, since we have two different groups of students in here and two different tests, I'm gonna go ahead and go through the advanced test first and give them their answers and then switch back to the regular. So if you're in the regular class, you can still check out for another 2 minutes. I'll tell you when to start paying attention. So, for the advanced test, question 1, correct answer was C. Question 2, correct answer was J. Question 3, correct answer is E. Question 4 is F. Question 5 is C. Anything that's not clear there? Okay. Question 6 is G, as in goat. Question 7, B, as in boy. Question 8 is H. Question 9 is C. Question 10 is G, as in goat. Question 11 is C, as in cat. Question 12 is G, as in goat. Question 13 is D, as in dog. Question 14 is G, as in goat. Question 15 is D. Question 16 is H. Question 17 is A. Question 18 is J, as in jump. Question 19 is C, as in cat. Question 20 is H. Question 21 is D, as in dog. Question 22 is G, as in goat. Question 23 is C, as in cat. Question 24 is H. Question 25 is E, as in elephant. Question 26 is G. Question 27 is E, as in elephant. Question 28 is F. Question 29 is D. Question 30 is H. Question 31 is A. Question 32 is J. Question 33 is A. Question 34 is K. Question 35 is B. Question 36, F. Question 37, E, as in elephant. Question 38, K. Question 39, D. Question 40, H. Question 41, A. Question 42, G. Question 43, D, as in dog. Question 44, G, as in goat. Question 45 is D. Question 46 is G, as in goat. Question 47 is E, as in elephant. Question 48 is H. Question 49 is D, as in dog. Question 50 is J. Question 51 is E, as in elephant. Question 52 is F. Question 53 is B, as in boy. Question 54 is F. Question 55 is E, as in elephant. Question 56 is K. Question 57 is A. Question 58 is F. Question 59 is D. And question 60 is K. So, again, for the advanced students, you guys have the advantage that your book also gives explanations. And so that starts on page 694. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and page, so advanced. Is on page 694 for explanations. And so you can go ahead and start there and look at the questions that you have or the ones that you missed, and it gives a good rundown. And if you have further questions, that's where I would really want to get started with you guys. All right. Unfortunately, this book that we're doing with the regular class doesn't have such detailed explanations, so we will start working there. But starting at question 1 in the regular class, we have B as in boy. Question 2 is J. Question 3 is C. Question 4 is J. Question 5 is C. Question 6 is F. Question 7 is E. Question 8 is H. Question 9 is A. Question 10 is G. Question 11 is C. Question 12 is F. Question 13 is D. Question 14 is J. Question 15 is B as in boy. Question 16 is F. Question 17 is C. Question 18 is J. Question 19 is A. Question 20 is G. Am I going too fast for anybody? Okay. Question 21, E as in elephant. Question 22, K. Question 23, B as in boy. Question 24, H. Question 25, D as in dog. Question 26, F. Question 27, D as in dog. Question 28, G as in goat. Question 29, A. Question 30, J. Question 31, E as in elephant. Question 32, G as in goat. Question 33, D as in dog. Question 34, G as in goat. Question 35, B as in boy. Question 36 is H. Question 37 is B. Question 38, J. Question 39, C. Question 40, J. Any questions on that one? Okay. 41, D as in dog. 42, F. 43, B as in boy. 44, K. 45, B. 46, H. 47, E. 48, K. 49, B. 50, G as in goat. 51, C as in cat. 52, G as in goat. 53, A. 54, K. 55, D as in dog. 56, F. 57, E. 58, F. 59, C. 60, J. So again, starting with the regular class, just going back to the very beginning, questions on the first page, in person or online, both are okay. Okay. Questions on the second, 6 through 9. Third page, 10 through 13. Fourth page, 14 through 17. I know that with the regular, I have not done the geometric sequence with you guys. Did you guys get 17? Okay, awesome. Was that just yes, or did you have a question?
I got it.
Okay, thank you. That's good to know. The alternating sign in geometric series can be kind of fun, so just notice that it happens and then focus on the numbers. All right, so 18 through 23, questions on that one? 24 through 29. Ones that I had circled as possible ones to talk about were 24, 26, or 27. A lot of dealing with rationals and variables and that sort of thing.
Questions on those ones?
On those ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, 24, we start with the equation where we have 4 on the top of our fraction and 2 plus k on the bottom of our fraction, and they tell us that k represents a positive integer, so basically the counting numbers, and the question is, as k gets larger without bound, find the value of r. And so this one is both understanding the numbers, but also just, if I threw in a really big number, what would happen? And so you can understand this theoretically, but if you don't, pick a really big number for k and throw it in your calculator. Just start with 9 and throw as many zeros as you can after it and see what happens. What's going to happen is, even though this is 4, if k is a ridiculously large number, if we have to share 4 pizzas between 2 million people, it's not even worth standing in line to get your slice. There's going to be little teeny pieces left. And so as k gets bigger without bound, the idea that it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the idea is that r, what this is equal to, approaches 0, gets closer and closer to 0, and that is where the h comes from. And so, because the variable's in the bottom and they tell us that k is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the more we chop up something into many pieces, the closer the size of those pieces gets to 0. So that's what's going on with 24. On 25, we're considering the equation 2x minus 12, and this is over 3x minus 6. And the question is in the standard xy plane, so our graph plane, which of the following equations represents the vertical asymptote of the graph? So, an asymptote is a line that a graph gets very close to but does not cross. And vertical asymptotes happen when our denominator equals 0, because dividing by 0 causes a divide by 0 error. And so it's the x value that causes that divide by 0 error will create this vertical asymptote within our graph. So if you can plug this into a graphing calculator and you feel confident about it, that's one way to do it. I would just solve, okay, 3x minus 6 equals 0, 3x equals 6, divide by 3x equals 2. And so x equaling 2 is what would cause our divide by 0 error. And so at x equal to 2, that is where our asymptote is. So asymptotes, again, they're caused by, the vertical asymptotes are caused by the divide by 0 error, and so it would be at f, x equal to 2 causes that problem. But if you haven't heard the word vertical asymptote before, it really throws you. All right. The last one is 27. It's talking about what are the solutions to 3x squared minus 2x minus 21 equal to 0. So, if you know factoring, that's great. If you don't, your two options, well, three options. You can test the numbers that they give you. You can graph it in a graphing calculator and see where the line equals 0 or where it crosses the x-axis. Or you could run it through the quadratic formula. Three ways to do it other than factoring. In this case, I would be doing a bit of a hybrid. Understanding what it is will help us process of elimination, and then I would be testing the different solutions they gave us as multiple choice. So, first of all, because it's a quadratic, and because there's the 3 out front here, it's not a perfect square. So there are going to be two answers. And based off of the options that they give us, there are going to be two real answers. There's not any imaginary numbers going on, so that's good. The other thing to be aware of is 3, -2, and 21 don't have any common factors. There's nothing that we can pull out of all three of them. And so one of our solutions is going to be a fraction. It's not going to be two integers because it cannot factor completely. There's going to be a coefficient of 3 on one of our factors. And so because of that, I can eliminate everything except for C and D. C and D are the only ones that have that fraction possible answer in there. And so C is x equals -3 and x equals 7/3. That's C. And D, switching case, sorry about that, is x equals -7/3 and x equals +3. So I would skip the fractions and test the number. If I put in 3, I'm going to get 9 times 3. I'm going to get -2 times 3 and -21. Throwing it through a calculator is perfectly fine, but in either case, I'm going to get 27 -6 -21 takes me back to 0. So the +3 worked. And I would go for this one. If you double check the -3, you'll find it cancels out that negative and you end up with something large and positive rather than equal to 0. And so that is the way I would tackle that one. It's understanding where, it's understanding where the numbers come from and how quadratics work, more so than it's solving for the complete answer. But if you choose to graph it with the graphing calculator, if you choose to solve it with quadratics, all of those will get you the right answer. They're just a little bit slower. All right. On the next page, questions on 30 through 35.
31.
All right, give me a second. On 31, all right, we have in Mrs. Hartley's foreign language class, students must take both a written exam and an oral exam. In the past, 85% of her students passed the written exam and 70% of those who passed the written exam also passed the oral exam. Based on these figures, about how many students in a random group of 100 would you expect to pass both exams? So, we have 100 students to start with. First one is super easy. What is 85% of 100 students? 85 students. The next one gets trickier because it's 70% of those who passed the written exam also passed the oral exam. And so we're not doing 75% of 100, 70%. We are doing 70% of this 85. So 85 times 0.7 to get to the final answer of how many passed both exams. And I don't have a calculator, so somebody give me what the answer was.
59.5.
What was that?
59.5.
All right, and then we'd round that up to 60, which is E. And so that's what's going on there. You have to take both percentages and they combine together to be, this is how many students passed. Any other questions?
35.
That one's on my circle list too. So 35 is asking what is the determinant of 4, 2, 8, 5. You guys got the unlucky luck of the draw. You guys haven't done matrices. In general, you're lucky if you get them in Algebra 2. They tend to be more in pre-calculus, based off of what I've seen. So this is called a matrix. It's a way of organizing information. And the determinant of it, I'm going to tell you, is the difference of the diagonals. And if you remember that, that's great. The chances of it being on the test are kind of like 1 in 3. So the determinant, you're going to take this diagonal here. What is 4 times 5? 20. And like I said, it's the difference of the diagonals. So we're going to be subtracting our other diagonal. What's 2 times 8? 16. And so our determinant is 4. They're not hard, it's just that you haven't learned them yet. And so if you are really super close and just trying to eke out other points, that would be a really easy thing to memorize because it's not hard, it's just not learned yet. So the determinant is the difference of the diagonals. You start at the top corner and go down, and then you come back and subtract the other one. Think about how you draw an X is another way to help you remember that. All right, any other questions on this? Page 30 to 35. All right. I will open it up for questions on the rest of the test, and then I've got to give the advanced kids some time. So anything that's truly bothering you or a problem that you just beat your head on going, I feel like I should do this, but I'm not.
Can we look at 38?
38 on the regular test?
Yes.
Okay, so this one is the coordinates of the midpoint of a line segment with endpoints -1, 3, and 2, 5. So, favorite memory device on this one. The midpoint is the middle, and the middle is the average. If you are looking for a midpoint, you are finding the average of X and the average of Y. And so if we have -1 and 2, -1 plus 2 is going to be just 1, +1. And we have two numbers. If we're taking the average of them, we're going to divide by 2. and this becomes positive 1/2. If I have 3 and 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, and cutting it in half of 8 will be 4. And so our average of the y-coordinates is 4. So there is a fancy formula for midpoint, but it boils down to you're taking the average of the x and the average of the y. You add the two things together and divide by 2. All right. Advanced kids, you've had the chance to look at your detailed answers. Any ones that you would like further clarification on? I know you kind of got turned into self-study on your own, but you're doing good. All right.
Is there any way to go over 53?
On the regular test or the advanced one?
The advanced test.
Perfect. I've just got 2 screens talking to me. It's hard to tell which one. 50. Oh, no, that's the science one still. Looks like math, but it's not. 53. All right. Which of the following values is the x coordinate? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So, which of the following values is the x-coordinate of the point in the standard xy coordinate plane where the graph of the line y equals 7 intersects with the graph of the function? So, we are y equals 7. It's up here. And the natural log of x minus 2 plus 3. So it's talking about a graph. It's talking about the x-coordinate. It's a different way of saying solve for x. The graph really makes no difference at all. Because we have this constant y equals 7, into our equation we're going to put 7 equals the natural log of x minus 2 plus 3. Or in other words, solving for x, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and 4 equals the natural log of x minus 2. Natural log is log base e, and so in order to cancel that out or get rid of the natural log, we have to raise both sides of the equation to the e power. And we have e to the 4th equals x minus 2. Finally, to get x by itself, we have to add 2, and we get e to the 4th plus 2 equals x. So the graph stuff is a little bit distracting. The important thing to get from it is, with this graph, y is a constant, y is always equal to 7, and so we put 7 in for that graph. Good question. Any others from the advanced? All right. Any others from regular?
I actually have a question.
Oh, advanced or regular?
Yeah, advanced.
Okay, which one?
Oh, never mind. I read it in the thing. No, sorry.
Misreading questions is absolutely a thing. The number of times I have missed a question and then gone back and it's like, no, I was absolutely right. Oh, I was right about the question I thought it was, not the question it was. It happens. 41. 41 is on my circle list too. So, this one may be of interest to advanced if you've already caught up on your checking and you want to follow along with this one. It's a good one. So, we're given 4 positive real numbers, x, y, and z. We are trying to find an equivalent expression of x to the 1/2, y to the 3/4, and z to the 5/8. And everything in the options is written in terms of either a 4th root or an 8th root. So this is a little bit of an adding fractions problem disguised as an exponent problem. Because if we have a to the x power times a to the y power, you know that we add the exponents. And so, well, no, it's not quite like that. Bad way to set up. Scratch. But in order to get them all in the same root, we need a common denominator. So what is the common denominator of 2, 4, and 8? 8, great. So we have x to the 4/8, we have y to the 6/8, and we have z to the 5/8. So, not sure how much you've dealt with this yet. Have you dealt with the idea that a fractional denominator is a root? Okay, so the idea is take x squared. If we took the square root of x squared, we'd go back to x, right? They'd cancel out. Another way to write this square root is as x squared to the 1/2. And 2 1/2, x to the 2/2 becomes x to the 1, or just x. And so anytime we have a denominator in our power, it's like a root. And so this is going to be the 8th root of what's left over is x to the 4th, y to the 6th, z to the 5th. And that is what's going on with that one. So the denominator in powers or exponents are roots. It's just a different way of writing it. Any other questions on the regular test? Alright, last one I want to talk about is question 47. And it says, when entering information about the budget of her charity ball, Laura records an expense of $20. However, Laura accidentally enters the $20 as income instead of an expense. The balance of the charity ball now shows $40 less than it should, $20 less than it should, the correct amount, $40 more than it should, or $20 more than it should, or $40 more than it should. Which one was that?
I think it's supposed to be, the correct answer is E.
The correct answer was the last one, yeah. Because if you think about it, if she just didn't record it at all, she'd be $20 off because she missed that expense. And so she spent $20, but it's not recorded. But by recording it as income, that doubled the error, and now she's $40 off. And so that one, it's just one of those number sense things that you get used to thinking about, and it really helps with this test. And so that one I like because of the way it makes your brain think. All right. Any further questions? again, I know that a lot of you took this test, and so excellent job being here, really good effort, and you guys have been really good about asking questions in general, and so I've been really grateful for that. If we are done, I will let you go. If anybody has further questions and they just want to talk to me individually and not feel like they're holding up everyone else, I will stick around for a couple minutes and answer them then. But if you are done, you are free to go and enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. The advanced one is done.
I think I would have done, but I hope I did that good on the ACT.
Oh, really? This one was good?
35.
Awesome! That's great. Yeah, we can hope that the other one was that good. How did it
I
feel?
don't think it did.
Oh, it didn't feel that good?
Absolutely not.
Be happy with a 30. A 30 would be
Yeah.
good.